Oasis TV, bringing you a world of programming.
George W.'s first oil venture was called Arbusto. The daddy set him up with. It's called Arbusto, which I guess is Spanish for bush or shrub or something. Some kind of weed. And who's one of the main financial backers of Arbusto back in the 80s? The Bin Laden family. George Sr., when he leaves the White House, forms the Carlyle Group, an equity firm with James Baker and a few of his other boys. And who's one of their main financial backers and clients? The Bin Laden family. In fact, when George W. goes to Saudi Arabia in the last 10 years, he stops by the Bin Laden Palace for a little sleepover at times, or a howdy-doody. Now, that could just be a coincidence. You know, there's lots of Bushes in this world and lots of Bin Ladens, I'm sure. And you shouldn't paint all Bin Ladens with one broad stroke. They're good people. Many of them, most of them probably are good people. But, you know, I just got to thinking, you know, would George W. Bush, would George Sr. and Barbara, would they have a sleepover with the parents of Charles Manson? You know, I mean, at a time when Osama bin Laden is supposed to be doing all this evil, George Sr. is over at the Bin Laden's house? What's that all about? It's weird. I don't have any conclusions here. I certainly don't have any answers. But as a citizen, I'd like to ask a few questions. And that's a question I'd like answered. What are the financial connections between the Bush and the Bin Laden family over the years? Because if you go to the BBC website, you'll see a story that starting in 1995, the Taliban first sent a delegation to Houston to meet with oil company executives while George W. Bush was president. Do not take my word for this. It's on the BBC. Right there, there's the picture of the Taliban in Houston. What's that all about? Well, they were there to discuss the building of a pipeline across Afghanistan, the Unocal pipeline. Who was going to help build the pipeline? Halliburton. Who was the head of Halliburton? Big Dick Cheney, all right? Now, what's that all about? Just a coincidence? Maybe. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I'm not drawing any conclusions. I have a question. I'd like it answered.